Senator. Senator Anwar, do you rise for remarks?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you so much, and it's good to see my colleagues here today. I wanted to first also thank all the individuals who've been working behind the scenes, making sure our environment is clean, and every time somebody speaks, these mics are cleaned as well. We are watching this obsessively because the reality is that COVID-19 is a reality. It is a disease which has had a significant impact. If there are people in the community and people maybe in our legislature who are not sure about this being an illness, I think it's important to recognize that this is a significant illness which has caused deaths of thousands of people in our entire country, and we unfortunately we continue to see more and more of this illness spread. We are successful in our state because thankfully we were smart and we were ahead of the curve, recognizing and learning from some other parts of the world where the spread of the disease, the patterns, and what could reduce that spread. And we followed those recommendations as much as we have, and that has actually resulted in positive results. Many other parts of the country where those issues were not followed, we are seeing this pandemic becoming a much more significant impact. We have crossed 4 million cases in our state, in our country right now, and thousands of people are dying. If you look at the number of deaths, they're more than what was lost in the First World War. It's more than many other wars, literally, and this is where you have to realize that we have a responsibility to protect our citizens. Now, the other aspect is we actually, as a responsibility as a state legislature, have to make sure that the people have an opportunity to vote, and then their vote should be counted, and this is a bill which is going to address that. So I am in favor of us collectively supporting this amended HB 6002. We have a responsibility based on the 14th Amendment as per the Supreme Court to actually support this. And for some of the people who had said that it is not going to be a problem for the people to stand in line and go and vote, I think there is an issue. We can learn from at least one example in Wisconsin when a decision was made that people have to not use absentee ballot, and then that actually had a result of pretty much after the election day, about 67 or so people got the infection, and they were directly linked with their positions during that election. And then the second level of the viral growth, that is what virus is called. A virus leads to further increase in the number of people getting infected, had infected far more people. This was all preventable. And that is why we are here today, to make sure that we are going to make sure our community is protected. Our citizens are protected while they actually take care of one of the most important civic responsibility. One of the other arguments you may hear in some of my colleagues would be that, well, the absentee vote may be associated with the risk of fraud, voter fraud. And I want you to know that based on the data, there are about 5 states that have a pretty robust absentee ballot program, where the Washington State, Oregon State, Utah, Colorado, and Hawaii, they actually have voted by mail procedures which have been extremely effective, and they have also given us a lot of data and insight about the probability of something going wrong. So here are some probability numbers that have come out from a pretty robust data from multiple years, is that an individual or people there are 12 people who would actually be hit by lightning. 12 people will be hit by lightning before there would be a single case of voter fraud. And when we look at the Connecticut data of the past for absentee ballot, that actually shows that 55 people will be hit by lightning before there's a risk of anybody doing voter fraud. So this is, at the same time, if we look at what happened in Wisconsin, the likelihood of the infection spreading, the likelihood of death associated with the infection is going to be far more. If you actually don't believe it's a real disease, I will have you meet the families and people who have lost their loved ones, and that would help you realize how it is a real disease for people, and we have a responsibility to protect this. Madam President, there are a lot of people who have died to give us the right to vote. And there's no reason more people need to die to be able to vote. And we have a responsibility today that we make sure that more people are not going to be harmed and people don't die just because they are taking care of their most important civic responsibility. So I urge all my colleagues and everybody over here in this chamber to vote in favor of House Bill 6002 as amended. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Senator Anwar.